going on, everybody? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today I want to do a reaction to the portion of today's Senate hearing where Ted Cruz grilled Jack Dorsey, Twitter CEO, because I've seen some snippets of it, and I haven't seen the whole thing, so we're going to watch it right here over on C-SPAN. It says it's about 8 minutes long, and I've heard I heard some clips, and people seem to be praising Ted Cruz. I like Ted Cruz. I didn't like him in the 2016 campaign. I was very much against Ted Cruz because I'm a Trump guy. But Twitter's garbage. Anybody that's, paid attention to anything I've been doing for any significant amount of time knows I hate Twitter. Twitter banned me for memes. Never gave me a reason. Never gave me an official reason why they banned my account of 23,000 followers. But they suspended my account, and they've never responded to me to tell me why they suspended my account. Essentially, I got banned for posting Last of Us Part 2 memes. That's how Twitter does things. So let's check it out. Let's hear what Senator Ted Cruz has to say.
Is profound, and I expect we will have continued and ongoing discussions about Google's abuse of that power and its willingness to manipulate search outcomes to influence and change election results. But today, I want to focus my questioning on Mr. Dorsey and on Twitter. Because of the three players before us, I think Twitter's conduct has by far been the most egregious. Mr. Dorsey, does Twitter have the ability to influence elections?
No.
You don't believe Twitter has any ability to influence elections?
No, we are one part of a broad spectrum of communication channels that people have.
So you're testifying to this committee right now that Twitter, when it silences people, when it censors people, when it blocks political speech, that has no impact on elections?
People have choice of other communication channels with which...
Not if they don't hear information. If you don't think you have the power to influence elections, why do you block anything?
Well, we have
Oh, got him. Okay, he got him there. If you don't think you have the choice to influence elections, then why do you censor things? A beautiful statement right there. And I love how Jack Dorsey says people have a choice. Yeah, they do have a choice, Jack. So why do you have to be the arbiters of truth? If people have a choice, then why don't you let them make their own minds up about things that are out there? Let them decide if something is misinformation or not. Why are you deciding what's misinformation and what isn't? And we've seen misinformation all over the place about Donald Trump, and I've never seen you take down anything from the blue check mark brigade about the misinformation with him. But every time that it benefits Trump, or it hurts the Democrats or the left-wingers, you take that stuff down. Garbage.
Well, we have policies that are focused on making sure that more voices on the platform are possible. We see a lot of abuse and harassment, which ends up silencing people and having them leave from the platform.
All right, Mr. Dorsey, I find your opening questions, your opening answers absurd on their face. Let's talk about the last 2 weeks in particular. As you know, I have long been concerned about Twitter's pattern of censoring and silencing individual Americans with whom Twitter disagrees. But 2 weeks ago, Twitter, and to a lesser extent Facebook, crossed a threshold that is fundamental in our country. 2 weeks ago, Twitter made the unilateral decision to censor the New York Post in a series of 2 blockbuster articles, both alleging evidence of corruption against Joe Biden, the first concerning Ukraine, the second concerning communist China. And Twitter made the decision, number one, to prevent any user, from sharing those stories. And number two, you went even further and blocked the New York Post from sharing on Twitter its own reporting. Why did Twitter make the decision to censor the New York Post?
We had a hack materials policy
When was that policy adopted?
In 2018, I believe.
In 2018, go ahead. What was the policy?
So the policy is around limiting the spread of materials that are hacked. We didn't want Twitter to be a distributor for hacked materials. We found that the New York Post, because it showed the direct materials, screenshots of the direct materials, and it was unclear how those were attained, that it fell under this policy. Now,
so in your view, if it's unclear the source of a document, and in this instance, the New York Post documented what it said the source was, which it said it was a laptop owned by Hunter Biden that had been turned into a repair store. So they weren't hiding what they claimed to be the source.
What is Jack constantly doing here? Because I keep hearing this noise, and I keep seeing Speaking Jack. Like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, it's very strange.
Is it your position that Twitter, when you can't tell the source, blocks press stories?
No, not at all. Our team made a fast decision. The enforcement action, however, of blocking URLs, both in tweets and in DM, in direct messages, we believe was incorrect. And we changed it.
Today, right now, the New York Post is still blocked from tweeting 2 weeks later.
Yes, they have to log into their account, which they can do at this minute, delete the original tweet, which fell under our original enforcement actions, and they can tweet the exact same material in the exact same article, and it would go through.
So, Mr. Dorsey, your ability.
Whoa. Let me hear that one more time. Let me hear that one more time.
At this minute, delete the original.
2 weeks later.
Yes, they have to log into their account, which they can do at this minute, delete the original tweet, which fell under our original enforcement actions, and they can tweet the exact same material in the exact same article, and it would go through.
Do you know what the point of that is? Do you know what the point of that is? For them to get the New York Post to admit guilt so they can run with that story. The New York Times deletes original tweet, deletes original story so that they can control the narrative. This is all about controlling the narrative, because he's admitting that they can do it, but they have to admit that they were wrong. We are forcing their hand before we will allow them to continue. And it's also they can say we were right. They deleted it admitting guilt. That's what this is about. Listen to it one more time. That is some bullshit.
Post is still blocked from tweeting 2 weeks later.
Yes, they have to log into their account, which they can do at this minute, delete the original tweet, which fell under our original enforcement actions, and they can tweet the exact same material in the exact same article, and it would go through.
So, Mr. Dorsey, your ability is you have the power to force a media outlet. Let's be clear. The New York Post isn't just some random guy tweeting. The New York Post has the 4th highest circulation of any newspaper in America. The New York Post is over 200 years old. The New York Post was founded by Alexander Hamilton, and your position is that you can sit in Silicon Valley and demand of the media that you can tell them what stories they can publish, and you can tell the American people what reporting they can hear. Is that right?
No, this was every person, every account, every organization that signs up to Twitter agrees to a terms of service. Terms of service is
so
published.
Media outlets must genuflect and obey your dictates if they wish to be able to communicate with readers. Is that right?
No, not at all. We recognized an error in this policy, and specifically the enforcement.
You're still blocking their posts. You're still blocking their posts. Right now, today, you're blocking their posts.
We're not blocking the post. Anyone can tweet.
Can the New York Post post on their Twitter account?
If they go into their account.
No is your answer to that. No, unless they genuflect and agree with your dictates. Let me ask you something. You claimed it was because of a hacked materials policy.
And by the way, Ted Cruz actually, I'll put this tweet up where Ted Cruz called out Jack Dorsey for lying in that instance, because he said, Jack Dorsey said anyone can tweet it. And Ted Cruz actually tweeted out a screenshot where he couldn't tweet it out. And he talked about how that, lying under oath and how big of an issue that is. I don't know if anything's going to come of that, but Ted Cruz seems to mean business.
I find that facially highly dubious and clearly employed in a deeply partial way. Did Twitter block the distribution of the New York Times' story a few weeks ago that purported to be based on copies of President Trump's tax returns?
We didn't find that a violation of our terms of service and this policy in particular, because it was reporting about the material. It wasn't distributing the material.
Okay, well, that's actually not true. They posted what they purported to be original source materials, and federal law, federal statute makes it a crime, a federal felony, to distribute someone's tax returns against their knowledge. So that material was based on something that was distributed in violation of federal law, and yet Twitter gleefully allowed people to circulate that. But when the article was critical of Joe Biden, Twitter engaged in rampant censorship and silencing.
And again, we recognized errors in that policy. We changed it within 24 hours. This is.
But you're still blocking the New York Post. You haven't changed it.
We have changed it. They can log into their account, delete the original tweet. That was
You forced a Politico reporter to take down his post about the New York Post as well. Is that correct?
Within that 24-hour period, yes. But we, as the policy has changed, anyone can tweet
So
this article.
Twitter takes the view you can censor the New York Post, you can censor Politico, presumably you can censor the New York Times or any other media outlet. Mr. Dorsey, who the hell elected you and put you in charge of what the media are allowed to report and what the American people are allowed to hear? And why do you persist in behaving as a Democratic super PAC, silencing views to the contrary of your political beliefs?
Let's give Mr. Dorsey a few seconds to answer that, and then we'll have to conclude this segment.
Well, we're not doing that, and this is why I opened this hearing with calls for more transparency. We realize we need to earn trust more. We realize that more accountability is needed to show our intentions and to show the outcomes.
Thank you, Senator.
So I hear the concerns and acknowledge them, but we want to fix it with more transparency.
Thank you, Senator Cruz.
Oh man, he's so unlikable. He's Jack Dorsey, such a arrogant, douchebag. I want to look for this Ted Cruz tweet because I'm pretty sure Ted Cruz tweeted something out about this situation. Because Ted Cruz is not happy at all. Right here it is. So Ted Cruz says, what Jack told the Senate under oath is false. I just tried to tweet out the New York Post story alleging Biden CCP corruption. Still blocked. 18 USC 1621 makes it a felony to lie under oath to the Senate. Bam. And yeah, look at here. Jack Dorsey of Twitter told Senator Cruz that anyone could now share the New York Post bombshell stories on Twitter. Dorsey is lying. Twitter is still blocking the URL for the New York Post story about the Biden foreign corruption and China dealings. This is unbelievable. And this is just where we are, though. I mean, real quick, just so we can get clarification on this, and I want to see if I can find it.
So media outlets must genuflect and obey your dictates if they wish to be able to communicate with readers. Is that right?
No, not at all. We recognized an error in this policy, and specifically the enforcement.
You're still blocking their posts. You're still blocking their posts. Right now, today, you're blocking their posts.
We're not blocking the post. Anyone can tweet.
Can the New York Post post on their Twitter account?
If they go into their account.
No is your answer to that. No. Unless they genuflect and agree with your dictates. All
right, so there you have it. That's the clip that I was talking about. It took me a few minutes to track it down, so I had to do some jump cuts there. But at the end of the day, we're looking at a ridiculous situation, but I'm really happy that Senator Ted Cruz grilled Jack Dorsey and called him out, rightfully so. Twitter's garbage, and I am glad that my personal account is no longer there. I've never really liked Twitter. I think Twitter does have a lot of good elements, but it's ran by corrupt individuals, and it's used to push left-wing narratives, and they silence the people that they don't agree with, and that's just the reality of the situation, and it's trash, but it is what it is. We are closing in on this election. Twitter has had a lot of influence over this election, as does big tech, as does social media, as does, you know, the mainstream media. So, and they all hate Trump. They all are against Trump. So we'll see how this all plays out. Other than that, hope you guys enjoy this video. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.